Hey vinyl community, what's happening, guys? Here we are at the Lair again hanging out, and it seems like just yesterday that we were hanging out, doesn't it? Or maybe more like 2 months ago. I don't know. I'm bad with time. This video is brought to you by a Grolsch or 3 swing top. Hello everybody. Thanks for clicking. Thanks for choosing to waste your time hanging out with me, talking about whatever the hell I want to talk about. Typically records. And I've got quite a few to show you. I've got some standards, some stuff we all know and love. Glad to have them. Got some new stuff, some old stuff, rock, blues, punk, metal, progressive, and every freaking thing in between. I hope you're all well. I wanted to make some time to make a video before the end of the year. Thank you to my new subscribers and to my old subscribers as well. Let's get started on some wax. This is the not insane. This is not going to blow your mind, these things, but they need to be shown. Some of them are in a lot better shape than what I have. Some of them I didn't have. The ones I feel should be spoken about, I'll speak about, like Les Dudek, in the vein of Mahogany Rush, not a shredder, but guitar oriented, cool stuff. BK showed some Les Dudek. This is another one, Songs in the Key of Life. This is cool because it has the 45. So I'm glad to have this. Alice Cooper, Love It to Death. This is the gatefold. This could be second or third press, I'm not sure exactly. But I'm glad to have this because it's a lot cleaner and less played than the one that I have. This is one that I showed Vance. I said, yo Vance, I got a first press Zeppelin 3 with a perfect spinner. He's like, oh yeah, cool, then it has that label. And I was like, nah. He's like, that's not a first press then. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, does it have this? Because that means it's a second press. I was like, no, it doesn't have that either. He's like, oh, that must mean it's a third or fourth or fifth press. Does it have that thing on the dead wax? I said, no. So who the fuck knows when this thing was pressed? I picked the wrong person to bullshit my way through with the Zeppelin fucking album. Zepp Pearl. Anyway, this is really clean. These were all free, by the way. Everything I'm showing you right now I got for free from an older woman. They were her sons. And he left them there when he moved out 30 years ago. So I offered her money and she declined and gave them to me for free. And I thank you. I heard this is good. So it was kind of one of those things where you had 50 or 60 of them. And it's basically like take whatever you want. I didn't want to take everything. But I wanted to take anything that made any sense that I could possibly like. Well, not possibly. I wanted to make sure that I knew I would like it to some degree. I just didn't want to take a bunch of them. She said take them all. I didn't want to do that because that's fucked up. Joe Walsh. I heard a lot about Dave Mason. I only know him for a few cheesy radio songs, but I've heard people talk about him in a good way. So I picked this... boom, live double. This is pretty cool because this is a first press. This has that cool matte. It's like cross hatched, you know. You can feel the textures. You go up and down like woven kind of. And this is original. Really glad to have this for Prees. This is another double. Oh, this is a double too, but you know, I've never had an original cover. This is a double for me. This is Robin Trower. Is this Long Misty Days? Yeah, Long Misty Days. Jim Dewar, Robin Trower, Bill Lorden. Come on. Double, but very clean and practically unplayed, and that's really, really cool, especially for Zero. If you don't know who this is, you better go back to Music for Dummies class. Robin Trout, Bridge Your Size. This is the one that pretty much everyone has heard first. And I did too. But so glad I found out more about him. That's another double as well. Mine's really beat up, that cover on Bridge Your Size. Deep Purple, Made in Japan. This is another double. A couple of these I haven't compared with my originals, so I still have to do that. I didn't have this. This is Derek and the Dominoes. I don't know how much I'll be into it because I'm not a huge fan of Eric Clapton, but the artwork always got me going. Kind of reminded me of Vagina. And I'm not ashamed to say I'm into vaginas. So. And free. So free vagina, basically. Robert Palmer. Secrets. I have Sneaking Sally Through the Alley. I got that because Panique's played it, and I thought what I was listening to the background was pretty funky, a lot funkier than what I thought Robert Palmer was, so I picked that up. This was in the free stack, so I grabbed this too. Here's one. This documentary's on right now, Sound City. I believe this was the album that was recorded at Sound City in California. Really good shape. That good, I don't know if this is European or not. Nah, it's not, but it's got like a waxy cover on it, you know. Another double or a pass on to a friend, blow by blow. Little fog hat, Fool for the City. And the box set, All Things Must Pass, Harrison. It's in good shape. Records are clean. And the Concert for Bangladesh. I've seen these before, but I've never picked them up. But free, I've got no problem picking them up for free. Let's see. These are random buys. Just hang with me, guys. This is going to go as long as it's going to go. Alright? Don't get all nutty now about it taking too long. Just go. You can want to tune out or watch the rest later if you got a problem with long videos. I prefer you kick back and relax with your favorite, whatever it may be. Bust out your beer, your wine, your wizard smoke, whatever you got going. I'm going to show, this is a super obscure one, and I'm sure no one has ever seen this one. This is the I Want More Beer album. Really clean, and price was really good on it, so I picked it up. Here's another one. Sarah might like this. Hey, Sarah. Sarah from Sweden. How you doing? I hope you saved me some of those chocolates you made. They look good. She'd appreciate this. This is a BBC LP, Doctor Who sound effects. The real Doctor Who, the 70s Doctor Who. And this is actually really cool. It's got all the sounds of lasers and stuff and robots talking. And it's not a soundtrack, it's just cool sound effects from the show. Seriously cool shit. Oh man, I was glad to have this. The first Captain Beyond. It's not, unfortunately, it's not the one with, what is that, the lenticular? Is it a lenticular photo, a paste on? This is not a paste on, so I believe this to be a second press. But really glad to have this too. This is one that's been on my list for a long time, dude. Just a solid, absolutely 100% tight. But it's really, I'm going to say this is a perfect album. This album is put together perfectly. I'm showing you the back the whole time. Captain Beyond, self-titled. Guitar player, singer. You know what band he was in? Do you? Think about it. Guitar player. Atomic Rooster. You got it wrong, but you got it right. Easy Rider soundtrack. This is neat too, right? This is one of those things. If you collect soundtracks, and I do, you run across this for $5, and you got to snag it up. Little piece in time. This goes with my Rory Gallagher collection. The story so far. This has some live stuff. This has some studio stuff. I love Rory. I'm attempting to collect. One of the few artists I like to collect every album, whether they suck or not. And don't be confused. He didn't put out all good shit. He put out a few smelly ones. I respect him as a player, though. Here we go. I think this man is typically known, at least in my world, as the originator of the quad bass. The first that I've ever seen, and I've seen quite a bit, and I understand quite a bit of drum history. And what I know is Gene Krupa as the first person to have 4 bass drums, and typically they were different sounding bass drums tuned differently. Just a solid player. Him and Buddy Rich, they dueled for years, and it was awesome to watch them go. Here we go. This is neat, right? Mispriced. Maybe not mispriced, but it was only a few bucks. Wait a minute. $2. That's why I picked it up. $2. And I didn't know this existed, so it was good to have this. Mountain Live. Do I have to tell you? It's Mountain Live. With Felix Pappalardi. Here we go. We're talking roots here, people. Here we are. We're at the foundation. Allman Brothers. Beginnings. I grew up on this shit. And it makes me feel like I'm back then. When I put this stuff on, it makes me feel like I'm right there again. I can attach myself to a certain moment in time. Absolutely. And you literally feel like you're there again. Like you're experiencing it over again. Unfortunately, that works in both ways. So sometimes there are memories you don't want to remember. Ah, man, here's one from my man Greeno. What up, brother Greeno? I told him I had this and I wanted to show it. This is the first Grim Reaper. See you in hell. Right? Oh yeah, my man. I can hold down the metal end. Don't worry. Tolinen. Yuka Tolinen, I believe. Guitar virtuoso? Unique. Interesting. Instrumental. Glad to have been turned on to that. Here we go. This is the Isle of Wight. Thought this was cool too. I like festival LPs, and I've got quite a few of them now. I had a festival thread a couple years ago, but I guess nobody had any festival LPs, so only like 3 people entered. And that's not enough. See who we got here? Look at that lineup. I might have showed that before. I don't know. If you see one of these I might have shown before, sorry. You get to see it again. It's just been so long, and the pile accumulates. You think you've shown everything in one pile, but when it comes time to show the stuff you haven't shown, maybe 1 or 2 have gotten over there, so you're not 100% sure. So, okay. Here we are. All the stuff now is all brand new shit, and it's really fucking cool stuff, man. I'm glad to show you. I want to share. I'm not kind of guy. I like to share. You're up there. I keep looking down there at you, but you're up here, and I'm down there. Maybe if I have another sip, I'll get myself in tune. Zeke Geek made a video yesterday. He made a drunk video. Sucking off that Jack Daniels like it was a teat. It kind of inspired me to do this, except I'm not going to get wasted. And I'm typically always an asshole, so it doesn't take any beer to really get me set up to be one. New wax. This is unedited. I have no intention on editing any of this. No Photoshop or no weirdness. I'm not going to cut out the farts and the burps. You're going to see it all. It's all exposed here in the Lair. I got 2 records today in the mail at the same time from 2 different places in the country. Ordered at 2 different times from Amazon. One from California, one from Wisconsin. You're right there. Eyes are up here, buddy. I got them both today, and I'm really psyched. I was hoping they were going to show up before the holidays so I could listen to them, and they did. Here's one I'm really glad to have. This has still got the wrap on it because I didn't bust it open. Well, I broke it open, but I didn't play it yet. Megadeth, Rust in Peace, 1990. I didn't just burp. Killer. So glad to have this. And this has got the original, this has the insert, but they put the LP in a nice polyline sleeve, which is cool. Thoughtful. This is one I picked up just the other day off of Amazon. And this showed up in 2 days from Amazon and not Prime. This is the newly re-released Soundgarden. I'm sorry for the glare. I just didn't want to take the film off to shrink until I had a sleeve for him, and I have to order some sleeves. This is Soundgarden Screaming Life FOP. Screaming Life and the EP FOP. 2 LPs. Comes with the FOP sleeve, heavy cardstock, and the Soundgarden Screaming Life. Heavy cardstock, well packaged, and a sleeve made to accept 2 LPs easily, not just one where they smash 2 of them in there. That was cheap. That was only like $17, man. So I had to pick it up. I'd like to get the one with gun on it. I got a brain fart now. I was just listening to it the other day, and Nathan was talking about that album too. This is the second album that showed up today in the mail. And this came from somewhere in Compton, California. I'm surprised there's no bullet holes in it. This is what I would call crossover perfection. These are the Crumb Suckers, and this is the second album, Beast on My Back. The follow-up to Life of Dreams. This is, I say this is crossover because it is absolutely crossover in the best way possible. They started out as punk, thrash, metal. On this album, they completely changed it up. It's still thrash with some punk influence, but the foundation of this album now is absolutely progressive, 100%. And it is a fucking mind blower, man. This album came out in '88. To this day, I cannot sit still when I hear this album. It is so well constructed all the way through from start to finish. It is, in my opinion, a perfect fucking album. Why do I say that? Because it's true, man. When you listen to the musicianship in this album, it will change your perspective on a lot of things. I suggest you buy this. Now, this is a reissue from Back on Black. This was reissued a year or 2 ago, and it's really well packaged. It's 180 gram wax, and this is like The snot green, clear snot green. An absolute stellar album. You all know RL. Come on, RL. This is RL Burnside, the blues man. This is Ass Pocket of Whiskey. And I love this. They recorded this in one day. I forget the name of the backing band, but it was another band. He met up with them. They recorded this. It's, for the most part, standards, RL standards with improvisation. And it's a fun album. There's another one called, what is it, Mr. Wizard or Wizard? But that's another one I gotta pick up. Okay, we're starting to wind down a bit. I'm down to 5. 4 of them are from one. Showed this recently on Facebook and the other page. I think just Facebook. I put it on my Facebook page. Nirvana Incesticide reissue. I just love Nirvana. This is on clear, but it's a bit cloudy, so I call it cloudy clear. Even the Dead Wax has got just a little bit of clear cloudiness to it, and that's 180 clear. This is 2 year ago reissue of In Utero. This is black. Again, 180 gram. They're in nice polyline sleeves. Sounds well. Sounds good, rather. Never mind. Of course, reissue. Am I going too fast through these? I don't think so. I think you guys know what these are. Geffen, the quality, the quality's there, especially in the vinyl. It's good, solid. You can tell it's just good, solid virgin vinyl. Really dense, and the label just absolutely pressed into the vinyl, not going anywhere. One of those type of labels you can just tell it's wouldn't be affected by water, or if it happened to get wet or something like that. And here we are at the very first, Nirvana Bleach. Really glad to have this. I'm just glad to have the whole collection, to be honest. I never bought the vinyl when they came out. I bought all the CDs. Sorry for the glare. I just don't want to take all these out of the wrapper and have to put them back because I'm lazy. But really glad to have that. Glad to have the Nirvana collection on wax. Like I said, I have them all on CD. Maybe I'll show you those sometime. I have a lot of imports, singles and imports on CD that my local record shop in the day, tape store and CDs then pretty much, used to get a lot of those Italian singles, German singles, really odd, cool things, collectible now. Absolutely, but just cool to have back then, because just about everybody you knew had Nirvana on CD. But when you showed up somewhere and you had some strange Italian EP of Nirvana with a couple unreleased songs, people were just like, whoa. So it's pretty cool to have. You always try to one-up your buddies, right? That's what you do. And I was always known for being that dude that had the weird, obscure shit. Like when Foo Fighters came out, after Nirvana, nobody around where I was knew what Foo Fighters were. When I showed them the Foo Fighters cassette and I played it, just half the people didn't even know what the fuck it was. This is the last, and I'm glad to show this probably more than anything that I've shown. First thing I'll say is I saw Long Lost LP Man, what's up, dude? And he showed this. He said he picked this up for under $20. And the first thing I said was, how is that even possible? It can't be possible. Because this is Alice in Chains, Purple or Tripod, or I've heard the band refer to it as the Three-Legged Dog Jammer. This is an absolute killer LP, man. Way later in Alice in Chains history, but still just as dark and just as beautiful as ever. Now, my story on this album is I traded some equipment for this. I traded an SL 1500 Techniques turntable. I traded an Ortofon 2M Red, and I set it up for the guy that traded. Now, this album goes for some sick fucking money. It's not been repressed, so this is an original. And anybody knows, anyone that knows what this album is knows what this album is worth. And it is conservatively worth hundreds. And I'm absolutely psyched to have it because I would never be able to afford to buy an album like this. Not that I wouldn't be able to afford it, but I could never justify spending that kind of money on a record. I mean, I'm going nuts spending, $25, $35. I spent $42, $50 on some shit, and I'm freaking out. I can't spend that kind of money. $300, $350, $200 in beat condition. Really glad to have this. He just wasn't that into it, and he needed equipment really bad. And I was absolutely happy to oblige because at that point, someone had given me those two turntables. I had a pair SL 1500 Techniques tables that were DJ tables. A friend of mine used to DJ, and he was about to toss them in the trash. I said, "Nah, don't toss them." Ended up kept one and parlayed the other one into this trade. But so cool, first of all, that you can do that because he's still using the turntable and he's happy as hell with it. I'm happy as hell with this trade. It's not like a personal grail high on my list of grails, but as far as collectability goes, and if you have to think about it along these lines, it's worth a buck or two. So, and I love the album. I absolutely love the album. It's just not something that I would have put on my list of grails. Like, my grail list is really small. Maybe 8 or 10 or 12 grails, and I'm at about 9 now, so maybe I only need a couple more, and then at that point I just start figuring out what it is that I want to pick up and put in the collection after that. Well, looks like we've hit the bottom of the bottle. Time for me to go crack open a fresh one, sit down and relax, watch a bit of TV, put all these LPs away that I just tore out of my shelves, continue my vacation. Hopefully your vacation's going to go well, and it's already going well, because mine is absolutely going killer. And it's just a blessing to have this time off and to be able to recuperate. Life has got a way of really beating the shit out of you, man. And when you can't get some recharge time in between, it just absolutely fucking destroys you. And you can't get to the point to where you can't replenish. Too late at that point. So, on that sage note, I'll talk to all you guys later. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, because that's what I do. I do a Merry Christmas. If you do something else, do it, man. And happy whatever that may be to you. This is Mr. Bizzarro signing out, and as I always say, if you don't know, there's a simple equation. You don't even need a calculator to do this. If you don't know, just learn, my man.